Hey, welcome to Landscape Timelapse in Krita. This is terrain paper and this is my first YouTube video, so yay, woo! I don't really know what to talk about, so I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. But first, I just want to shout out to the photographer that took this photo, Boris Baldinger or Baldinger. I'm sorry for pronouncing your name incorrectly, but shout out to him for taking this really beautiful photo. When I saw this photo, I was like, I need to draw this because I really like the color composition in this photo and just how the mountain is focused. So really shout out to him for taking this really good shot, and check out more of his work on Unsplash. I will provide all the links in the bio. But let's get back into this time lapse. I guess we can talk about my art technique or about my approach to drawing this reference. I would personally say that it's not really anything fancy. In the beginning, I just try my best to put down all the colors as accurately as I can. And then once I have all the colors in place, I just try my best to line things up and get the proportions correct so I can reference the photo better. And then from there, I just pick one spot to start and start pointing down things that I see in the reference photo. I'm still learning on how to pick the white colors when I try to use the color selector. And usually it's trial and error, but I feel like over time I'm just naturally going to get better at it with practice. But honestly, shout out to traditional artists who don't have the luxury of painting over their art piece or redo or undo their mistakes, so much respect to them. And that's the reason why I love digital art, because you can just put down everything that you're feeling and seeing, and then you can always paint over it and undo or redo your mistakes. And I guess that's really my art technique. I just go all over the place and just put down the colors that I see, and every color, line, or shape that I put down helps me get closer to the original reference, and that's basically what I'm doing this time lapse. You can see me start at one spot and then make my way all over the canvas. And actually I get into this flow state where I start at one point and then everything else just clicks. Well, I get to a point in this time lapse where everything is where they are, and then from there it's just details. For this painting, I use two brushes. I use one brush to paint the solid colors, and then I use another brush, a soft brush, to use for the clouds and the colors of the sunset. And this piece took me 8 hours and 30 minutes to finish. And the funny thing is, I really thought that this would be such an easy reference to draw because it's just one mountain and then the background's so simple, it's just a sunset. But then once I started drawing the mountains or got closer to it, I noticed that there were a lot of details that I didn't account for, so it took longer than I expected, to be honest. But nevertheless, I just went at it and just did my best. And I guess I can talk about my thoughts when I was doing this. And I guess that's where the title is coming from. And it's just to be perfect, to be imperfect. Because when I was drawing this, I realized, or I noticed that the lines or the colors or the shapes that I was pointing down it's not exactly as the original photo or reference, and that made me really think about perfection and what it truly means. Because what is perfection without the imperfection? You know, perfection wouldn't exist without the imperfection, and I'm not saying that in a bad or negative way. It's just that the definition of perfection can have different meanings for different types of people. And if I were to draw this exactly as the original reference, what impact would that make, or what value would I bring if I did it that way? You know, might as well just crop the original reference photo and just make that as your background, because that would be perfect, right? But speaking of imperfection, the lines that I made, the colors that I put down, the shapes that I made, they weren't all perfect, but as long as I, tried my best to put down what I felt and seen, it just still worked out in the end. At the end of the day, you can only just try to do your best, and that's all you really have to do, and that's all that really matters, to be honest. Because in this painting, I had a moment where I was just having a hard time continuing because I wanted it to be perfect. But once I got past that point of just trying to make it perfect, I was able to create something that was from my imperfection, and it still looks really good in the end. And that's where I think that your imperfections are just naturally who you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being naturally who you are. And that's where I say that it's perfect to be imperfect, because you are already perfect the way you are right now. In this current moment, you are perfect. And when you try to do your best, that's in essence perfection, because you're naturally doing your best. My imperfections in this drawing is what makes it truly different from the original photo, and it makes it special because it's from me, it's from my own imperfection. And I think that's true for everyone, where we are beautiful and imperfect in our own ways, and that imperfection is just what makes us uniquely different from each other, and that is special. We all have something unique to bring and contribute to everyone, and by being yourself naturally, you create something different. So when we strive to do our best by being naturally who we are, that's literally perfection. And that is your true power, because no one can really do it like you. People can try to imitate and copy, but it just doesn't hit the same if it's not coming from the original source or truth. And if we were to copy each other and just be perfect, then what would really stand out and be different and make us unique from each other, The idea of perfection doesn't really exist, because it's always going to be different for everyone. So might as well just be authentically who you are, because in that essence, you are just perfect in who you are, and that is perfection. Sorry if I keep repeating myself, but I just really want to emphasize that you are special and you are unique in your own way. So use it to the fullest, and you do you. As long as you try your best, everything will just work out in the end, or at least you'll just get closer to your goal. Everything that you do matters, and every step that you take is not in vain. So just keep on going and just keep trying your best. I ran out of things to say, but I have a more in-depth topic or discussion about it in my website, terrainpaper.com. I will also link that in the bio. Also, this painting is also free to download on my website, so check it out. I also have another wallpaper, but sadly I didn't take a recording of my drawing during that process. But yeah, check it out. I'm also new, so I don't really have anything that much right now, but I'm planning to do more as I have more time to do so. I'm currently working on my next one, but for some reason I always just choose the hardest one with a lot of texture, so I'm really going through it right now. But thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think. Is it perfect to be imperfect, or do you agree or disagree? Let me know down in the comments down below. I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, thank you guys. Stay safe, and I love you. Until next time, take care. Bye.